Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
And I'm Skylagh, and today we're going to be looking at social media.
Social media, like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that?
Yep. Chris, if I were to look at your Facebook profile page, would that give me a true picture of who you are?
I hope it would, but I only really post the good photos of me on Facebook. I don't post bad photos, or I definitely don't post my bad days and bad experiences. So I guess for that reason, you wouldn't really get a true image of who I am.
Well, most people form their opinions on others based on what they see or hear about them. And it's often based about what they see in social media without even going through the trouble to get to know the person on a deeper level.
You're right.
Well, this already happened in Jesus' time. They didn't have internet back then, but people still formed opinions on others without even getting to know them. We can see this when Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?"
So through this we can see that people were talking about others. But what did they say?
Well, let's watch this God story and find out.
Okay, so let's pick it up back. Start again, not bath. Nobody's having a bath. No. What's up, everybody? It's Jimmy again. I want to tell you something about myself that I discovered later on in life that has changed everything about who I am. Now, I'm a pretty healthy guy. I like to work out. I like to eat right for the most part. And I actually like my vegetables, except for one. I hate zucchini. And so should all of you. I mean, what are we talking about here? Is it a cucumber? Is it a legume? Is it actually a vegetable? I think not. It's right up there with cats. I hate zucchini so much that even if the queen served it to me, I would push back from the table. So this has led me to just a better sense of self-identity. It's made me more happy and whole in life. And so you should follow my lead. And that leads me to today's big idea. When we get to know Jesus, he helps us see who we really are. Okay, so back to the story. We've got Jesus and his disciples. Jesus is teaching them this kingdom ethic. They've been walking alongside him, seeing how he does what he does. They've been watching him perform miracles. And then we pick up the story in Matthew 16, verse 13. So here's what that says. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" Okay, so Jesus and his dudes are walking along, and lots more people are starting to hear who Jesus is, what he might be. Most people think he's a rabbi. Some people think he's a good religious teacher. Others think he's John the Baptist. Others think he may be the Messiah. Maybe he's a prophet. Maybe he's Elijah. They just don't know. And then Jesus stops the story and turns to Peter and says, "Okay, but who do you say that I am?" Have you ever noticed that it's almost easier to answer a question when it's about somebody else? When someone says to you, "Well, what are people saying about that person?" It's way different when somebody comes to you and says, "But what do you think? What do you say is happening?" Okay, so let's pick up the story again in Matthew 16:16. Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Okay. So, back to our enthusiastic friend Peter. You remember the dude who steps out of the boat, who conquers chaos, who has faith in Jesus, and Jesus comes right at him, picks him back up. He realizes who Jesus is, and then we fast forward to this scene, and Jesus asks who Peter thinks that he is, and Peter says very plainly, "You are the Messiah. You're the Son of the living God." Now, this might seem like just a normal thing, right? I mean, that's who Jesus is. The disciples knew that. They actually probably didn't. There's only one other instance up to this point where Jesus reveals who he is, and he tells that person to tell nobody. So this is like his big reveal where Jesus actually comes out with who he says he is. Up to that point, the disciples probably think, well, maybe he's a prophet, he's a great teacher, and he's certainly a rabbi who has called us out. But in this moment, we get the big picture about who Jesus is. You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. So then this is how Jesus responds to Peter, picking it up in verse 17. Jesus replied, "You are blessed, Simon, son of John, because my Father in heaven has revealed this to you. You didn't learn this from any human being, and now I say to you that you are Peter," which means rock. "And upon this rock I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven, and whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven." And then he sternly warned the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Everybody's been talking about Jesus, but Peter, blessed Peter, steps up right away and says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus stops everything right there. Something has changed. And he says, "Blessed are you, Peter." He renames him, in fact. And the word Peter, or Cephas, means rock, means stone, means bedrock, foundation. He says, "You're right, and the Father has taught you this. And upon this reality, I will build my church." Essentially, he's saying to all of the disciples there, this is what the kingdom of heaven looks like. God is at work. Jesus is God made flesh, and you get to be part of it. You see, Jesus helps us understand who we really are. So you can see that through Peter's experience, time spent with Jesus made him understand who he really was. And so to understand the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God, you really have to understand the King, who is Jesus. And so for us today, it's not just about more book knowledge or having read this or knowing that person or understanding this concept better than anybody else. It's actually just about time spent with Jesus. And so when we get to know Jesus, he helps us to see who we really are. It's been great to be with you today. Again, my name's Jimmy. We'll see you next time.
We often form opinions about people from what we see on their social media. And Jesus knew Peter's heart. So based on that, he was able to show Peter who he really was.
We're now going to watch a video of Zuriel, and you'll see the amazing stuff God had to show him about himself.
Game every day. From 1 in the morning till the next day. Strategy, RPG, FPS, so we can get to the stupid level 41 in a game called Super Magic Siren Blitz. It takes 10 days for you to download it. And once you go in, you can never come out. You become the AI, your controls us. While we're doing this, we're drinking our Mountain Dew. Hot pockets in a microwave, they're warming up too. And we don't care what you think or say about us. Why? 'Cause you know that we're the best.
The rapping that I do, it's not meant to be taken like seriously. I do not want to go on concert tours or anything like that. This is just for the enjoyment of others and see others smile. I'm Zuriel. I like anything nerdy. I love singing, and I love people. I was homeschooled for many years of my life, and I had a few close friends during these years, but I didn't really have a lot of friends like as you would in high school. So I tried to find these groups at youth groups. So the first one was really small, and it just didn't help us connect because there wasn't very many people. And then when we went to the second one, there were so many people that there was a lot more cliques, and I did not fit the expectations of people there, and because I didn't want to change as much as other people wanted me to, so that means I didn't get to make a lot of friends that I could have. After the second youth group, we went to one more, and we went to this retreat. And we were worshiping, and I just felt this presence of being loved all around me, because I could tell that people there were actually wanting to learn about God, and they actually wanted to care about me and other people. And that just made me, for the first time in my life, I think I was like truly happy. Shortly after this retreat, we were doing worship again in a group. I saw this image of an eye, and I heard or saw the word watch, and I was like, okay, this is something I want to write down. So I wrote it down, and then for a little bit I was trying to figure it out, and then at one point, my grandmother pointed me to a verse in the Bible, which is Proverbs 7:2-4, which is, keep my commandments and live, keep my teachings as the apple of your eye, bind them on your fingers and write them on the tablet of your heart. And for me, this meant that the place where I'd found community, I needed to keep that and the things that I learned there as the apple of my eye. And I think ever since that point, I've had a different view on the things that have happened in my life. So ever since that experience I've had, I felt called to like hang out with anybody, and the younger kids especially too, because they can teach you a lot. And I know one way that you can connect with younger people is just to be funny and goofy. And I found out one day that if I can talk like this and rap, the definition of nerd is imbued into the songs themselves. And I've really enjoyed making them, and I think people like them. I also enjoy writing music as well. And a song that I wrote recently is about the verse Proverbs 7:2 about keeping God as the apple of your eye.
I'm gonna take a breath, 'cause it reminds me how beautiful how you are to me. You're the one and only person I need, 'cause you are always kind to me. Gonna take a breath.
Through all these experiences that I've had, I think God's helped me realize who I can be through him. And he's helped me realize how my actions can affect others and how my actions can show his love to others. Even though I'm not perfect, the experiences that I've had in my life have changed me for the better, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to share God's love.
Oh, my heart is a tablet that I will write your words upon, and I will follow your commandments. Be the apple of my eye, the apple of my eye.
I wish I could rap like Zuriel. He's such a funny guy.
Yeah, he's really comfortable in his own skin. It's amazing how he can show his love for Jesus.
Yeah, and that only really happened after Jesus showed him who he really was. So let's get in our small groups now and talk a little bit more about this.